Hey guys, this is Jordan from over at Chelani Productions, and I have a brand new Writer's Corner headed your way. Today's episode involves getting to know your character part 1. I have 2 parts right now, but the second part is a little bit more of a meat and potatoes versus the whole aesthetics. The first step that you are going to need to do is write out a list of your characters. Now, this could be on your pen, paper, your computer, it doesn't matter. What you really need to do is just write out a list of names. I like to do a list of names from babynames.com. That gives everything a little bit more of a fresh push. If you have a strong name that you gravitate more towards, go to that. That would be a nice character's name, or it could be a sub-character that is mentioned maybe once or twice in a chapter and never seen from again. Looking at you, JK. While you choose your names of your characters, this also helps you with a nice little encryption tool that will set the mood of the entire piece. I personally have written a story based off the scorpion and the frog, and I looked up Japanese names and used those that actually mean scorpion, that actually mean frog. If people know that background information, it could be a "oh my gosh, this is awesome" all over the Twitters and the Facebooks later on down the road after you are published. Now, you want to know who your protagonist is and who your antagonist is. If there's 2, your protagonist and your antagonist, get those written down first. If there's more than that, get those written down after your protagonist and your antagonist. Who is your main character and who is your main antagonist trying to oppose that force? You really need to dive deep down in. You want to know what aesthetically they look like. So say you are in line at a police sketch artist and you have somebody that just robbed you. You have to tell them exactly what they look like, what their height was, what their weight was, if they had any interesting scars, any interesting tattoos, anything like that will absolutely help you with your character. Although you want to leave some sort of the aesthetics down to the mind, especially if you want to have your story published as a video game or a movie or a TV show later on down the road, you will need to write down exactly to scale what your person looks like. If you don't, people just have this vagueness of a beautiful person that just has jet black hair. Well, that could be anybody. That's also very cliche, and a lot of writers, they try to tend to stay away from the cliche. Now, a cliche or 2 might not be a bad thing if you can elaborate a little bit more on that. You want to stay away from cliches, especially when developing your characters. Something else that I like to do is imagine how your character sounds like. Do they have a feminine inflection in their voice when they're talking? Do they have a booming, raspy, manly voice? Are they more feminine? Are they more childlike? You want to be able to imagine yourself putting on some headphones and listening to your characters. You want to be as descriptive as possible. Say if someone is skinny, go to thesaurus.com. They have thousands of options for you that you can find out something that is similar to skinny. Say they're emaciated for skinny, or lanky, or stumbling around, look like a bones in a meat sack. Every little bit that you have will help develop your character to sounding more like you are a well-developed writer versus a high school student just starting on learning how to do prose for the first time. You may actually be that high school student learning prose for the first time, but if you want to wow your teachers, that's the best thing to do. Go to Thesaurus. It will be your best friend. This prompt of the week is going to be a little bit obscure. It's from my mad imagination, which I have a very, very mad imagination. Write a story, a poem, a song, anything, about you have to tell your parents that you woke up the next morning after a night of drinking married to a donkey. I know that sounds a little bit more like bestiality, but wait, that probably can be twisted around to something else. Say like you are another animal, like a horse, married to a donkey. It could also be a nice metaphor as teaching someone, hey, this interracial couple is a thing, you can't stop us. It could be anything. It can also lead down the bestiality road if you want to go that way, which is kind of weird, but you know, weirdness is also good. All right, that's it for me. My name is Jordan, and I will see you Monday.